And good to go. You can start.
Okay, so welcome back. First talk, dual ring, generic construction of ring signatures. Chihong Yuan, Muhammad Esik, Joseph Liu, Manho Ao, and Ximing Ding. Please go ahead. Do we have a speaker with us on the Zoom? I don't know who is supposed to speak from the authors.
Let me double check. Also, if the speaker is here, you might be muted, so don't forget to unmute. I'm not sure I see anyone from that talk. You may want to go on to the next, and then we can circle back around.
Yeah, is it okay with you, Rohit?
Thank you. I'll share my screen now.
Are you okay to go first?
I am.
Okay, thank you so much. So we'll do a slight switch, and first Rohit Chatterjee will present on the paper, and he will read off the list of names better than I will on compact ring signatures from LWE.
Can you guys see my screen all right?
Yes, that looks great.
Thank you. Okay, yeah, I'm Rohit, and I'm here to talk about compact ring signatures from LWE. This is joint work with Sanjam Garg, Muhammad Hajiabadi, Dakshita Khurana, Zhao Liang, Julio Malavolta, Omkant Pandey, and Sina Shihan. So what are compact ring signatures? Ring signatures in general have many people, and each generates their own public and signing keys. And the point is that anybody in this so-called ring can sign on behalf of other people in the ring, and you generate a single signature using your own public key. And really why you care is that there is no interaction. And so this differs from group and threshold signatures, etc. And the properties that you want are unforgeability, just like normal ring signatures, and anonymity, so that even though you sign the ring, nobody else can tell apart who in the ring actually signed a message. And for reasons of scalability, you often want the ring signatures to be small in the size of the ring itself. And so you want maybe something called compactness, where you want the signature to grow maybe logarithmically in the size of the ring. Or perhaps if you can't achieve that, you want it to grow sublinearly, and so on and so forth. And so there's been a lot of work in ring signatures, of course, and they are present in different models. I think this might be playing out on its own time, but that shouldn't matter. Yeah, so you have constructions in the ROM model, the CRS model, and most importantly for us, in the plane model. So there's a lot of efficient constructions and compact constructions, but in the plane model, really, there aren't a lot of constructions. And in particular, we'll focus on the one by Bakish, Deutling, Hanslik, and others from 2019 that gives you compact ring signatures without setup in the plane model. But for our purposes, before our work, there was no construction in the plane model and from LWE, so to speak. So let's just look very quickly at what components Bakish and others use. And they basically have a PKE scheme, a signing scheme. The PKE is basically standard, but it has a few extra properties. It also uses a somewhere perfectly binding hash scheme, which is like a Merkle tree, but you get something like a somewhere perfectly binding guarantee. It binds to one of the particular indices in, let's say, an array of committed values. This is not important for the moment. And finally, most crucially, it uses a non-interactive witness indistinguishable proof, which can be made from a variety of assumptions, but mostly we use them from bilinear maps, pairing-based assumptions. And the point is that, yes, of course, of all these components, the first three can be gotten pretty easily from LWE. but the last component is we don't know construction from LW or any other post-quantum assumption, and this is essentially our goal. And the way we look to do this is, of course, we essentially use the same template, but we try to replace the Navy proof. And I will try to sketch that out next. So how we do this is, I'm going to now show you the BDHK scheme, but I will not explain very much about it. So bear with me. So their ring verification key has the standard verification key and the public key for the encryption scheme. And the signing key just has the signing key for the standard signature scheme. And the signature really looks like this. You have an encryption of the standard signature along with the hash key for the somewhere perfectly binding key. Okay. And also the Navy proof. And now our crucial observation is that you can use a 2-round public coin argument system called ZAP, which we just put in the verification key, the first round ZAP message. And you can have the second round ZAP, the prover's response really, as part of the signature. And so you have essentially replaced the non-interactive witness and distributional proof with a ZAP. And I mean, there's a slight technicality because if you used your own ZAP first message from your own verification key, that could give away anonymity. So you use the one from the lexicographically smallest verification key in the ring, for example. So far so good. So this looks pretty simple. The catch is that we know ZAPs from LWE, and this is actually a recent and pretty nice and long line of work, but all of them need sub-exponential hardness of LWE, and in a very crucial sense. This is to show soundness, and you really need to use complexity leveraging in these templates to show soundness, because otherwise we don't really have approaches for showing soundness for any NPI language. And so we do not have constructions for the thing we are looking for in particular, which is just use polynomially hard LWE to get this kind of ZAP. And this is actually not exactly what we get. We get something weaker, but we show how to use it. So our key observation in some sense is that we do not need soundness for all of NP languages for our ring signature application. In fact, we are only interested in forgeability. And there really is like essentially 2 ways to beat soundness. If you're a forger and you're forging a ring signature, in the construction template I showed you before, you have to either provide an invalid encryption. So you encrypt under some invalid key, or you encrypt maybe junk, or encrypt a signature that is valid forgery. And you sort of cheat in the proof to show this. And in either case, essentially what you have is like a short witness to say that whatever you did, I can capture it in the short witness. So for the purposes of the forgeability game, you can have the challenger get access to this non-witness and try to catch you in the act of cheating. So you do not actually need all of NP, soundness for all of NP. You can settle for this weaker form of soundness. And we construct such a proof system. So to summarize what we did, we looked at the BDHKS template. We saw that you could first replace Navy proofs with ZAPs. And B, we created a ZAP construction that has soundness for NP intersection co-NP. And we also noticed that this is enough to actually show that your ring signature is unforgeable. And that is it. I have an extra slide to sort of sketch out the ZAP construction, but I will stop for questions.
So we're slightly behind time, so let's move questions to after both talks. But do we have the authors of the other paper? Is Chihong Yuan, Mohammed Eskin, Joseph Liu, Manho Au, Jimin Ding? Are they present? Somebody, I guess, has some connectivity problem.
It seems like UN was supposed to give the talk.
Right, he was giving the YouTube talk, right? So, well, they will get in touch and okay, I'm not the chair, but maybe they will be given opportunity to talk at some other session or something like this. I guess we don't have them now.
They have uploaded a longer version just in case people want to hear it.
Yeah,
it's like they have uploaded it.
Yeah, it's linked from the program. Okay, so I guess we have a little bit of time. So Rohit, you have one more slide. So let's do that and then have questions.
Sure. Right. Okay, yeah. So like I said before, the actual ZAP that we use in the ring signature scheme is one essentially that works for languages in NP intersection NP. And this works as follows. We create a special kind of commitment scheme. And we use a compressed Sigma protocol along with correlation interactable hash functions. So there's a lot going on this slide, I know, but I will take you through this. The commitment has the property that it essentially uses this power that you're using soundness for a weaker class of languages. It takes in a string in the first round, and the committed value is actually committed to in the second round. And the guarantee is that if your first round string is a non-witness, it proves that some string is not in a language. You can be when you have a language in NP intersection NP, because the complement is also an NP language. Then it will release the committed value. You can actually extract it out. Otherwise, it is statistically hiding. And if you have this guarantee, it's sort of fairly simple to see in a broad sense why this works. So you have the compressed Sigma protocol. You use this special commitment scheme to commit to your first round value, the prover secret for the Sigma protocol. And indeed, if you're cheating, then you have to do something specific along the lines of what I indicated before. And this, you can imagine that the verifier has, what's the word? Non-uniform access to it. And if it has non-uniform access to such a witness, it can use it in the first round and then get the prover secret that it uses in the Sigma protocol. And so if X is not in L, then you can catch out the prover relatively easily. And the reason is also that this is a compressed Sigma protocol. So it's not enough to say that you can catch the prover in the act. What does the prover secret actually give you? We have also used this hash function, which is a correlation interactable hash function, meaning that it's hard to, given access to the prover secret, it's hard for the cheating prover to come up with this hash output so that this whole Sigma protocol transcript can be accepted by the verifier. So colloquially, what we call the bad challenge, it's hard to have it so that the prover can set the first message so that the hash of this first message gives you the second message that you want to cheat in the Sigma protocol. And this is essentially how soundness works, and also witness indistinguishability is not very hard to show. And this is, ZAPs are also public coin, and this is public coin in the sense that the hash function choice is also public coin. The first round message you use to pick out the hash function key is public coin, and also we can make the commitment first message to be public coin. That's it.
Well, thank you, Rohit. Do we have any questions for Rohit? I think there is a message on the chat from Rishabh Goyal. Do you need any extra special property from ZAPs? or the Bacchus et al. Template work with any public coin two-round witness indistinguishable proofs instead of the NIWIs?
Yeah, well, it would. So this is slightly complicated. So I think it does. For the problem that arises in our setting is that since we are using this sort of weaker form of a ZAP, so like ZAPs for NP intersection clone P, we have to take some care that we do certain things sort of succinctly, because you imagine if we are proving some property about this ring, normally if you have full soundness or soundness for all of NP, this is not a very big problem. So you can go ahead and use this app, I think. But for our setting, since we have to use some extra leverage to prove soundness, we have also to make sure that what we sort of verify without directly relying on the soundness of this app does not add to the size of the ring signature construction. So you have to worry a little bit about that. So I'll be happy to go into more details offline.
Okay. Thank you. Well, let me ask a naive question. How come the first message of the ZAP can be not your own for the prover?
Well, yeah, that is, there's no technical nice answer, but it fits in nicely. So that in this context, you can imagine that, for example, the unforgeability challenger has access to, in some sense, what the prover. So you need to have some information about what the prover can do in advance. And as it turns out, for the unforgeability challenge, when you construct these ring signatures, let's go here. You are generating these public keys for the encryption scheme, right? And when you show unforgeability, you can have the challenger also pick out secret keys. So in general, you pick these public keys obliviously for reasons of anonymity. But separately, for unforgeability, you can have secret keys, and it turns out that this is enough information to set up our sort of NP intersection co-NP idea. Because given these secret keys, you can sort of check the prover's encryption within the ring signature and do certain consistency checks, and that's enough. I guess that is sort of what I would call the unpredictable on, that part.
And all your log n condensation or compaction comes from because it's a Sigma protocol?
No, not quite. So the other components also have to be compact, which they really are. But in the, so like I said, I was talking about the previous question, right? There you did sort of need this guarantee that the checks you're doing. So you want to really prove a statement of the following sort. So you want to say that your encrypted signature was encrypted by using a public key that was part of your ring. And so really to check this computation, you have to make sure that either you're proving something that is compact, or if you're not, technically, all the components that you're using in proving and checking these things do not scale, more than logarithmically with the size of the ring, which we do.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, we should go on a break soon, but Rishabh has a follow-up about the question on, first there is a question from Akshay Ram. Is COM1, the first commitment, is it pseudo-random?
We design it to be pseudo-random, yes. And for Rishabh's, I'm still reading it.
Okay, right. There's a longer comment from Rishabh on follow-up to the question of special properties of ZAPs.
Yeah, sorry, you can ask me directly.
Or maybe you, Rishabh, you can.
Yeah, I can maybe ask it out loud. I was just sort of quickly asking that you said ZAPs are here being used for compactness as well.
They are not used for compactness. You just need to make sure that any verification you do through them, all the components you use in actually constructing the proof are,
Yeah, because I was just trying to relate it with the back-to-solid construction, and in that one, nivvies were not really being used for succinctness because the hashes were sort of okay. So there's something more that zaps are doing here that nivvies were.
No, because we are not using, a general zap.
Fair enough. Okay. I see.
Involves the ring. So
I see. Okay, I understand. Okay, yeah. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah.
Okay. Is there any? Looks like. Is there any other questions in the audience? I'm sure you have many questions. Okay, but thanks to all these apparatus, we can ask questions offline. There is this Zulip or Tulip or something that you can chat, and that works great. People can ask the next day and ask a speaker, and the speaker will notice. So thank you, Rohit, and I haven't thanked the previous speakers, so thank you all for the first 4 talks as well.